Welcome back, episode 11. What's up? What's up? I have a I have a little black eye from a nose break at my most recent competition on Saturday, and looks like I refractured old fractures, and this piece of shit nose finally just gave out. I could still wiggle it too, bro. That's what's fucking crazy. I've been trying to keep it in place. I gotta go to the VA tomorrow and see what the deal is, but um, yeah. So now's a good That's a good time to explain, I guess, to people who don't know me exactly what I do. And yeah, I own and operate my own martial arts studio here in South Carolina. And used to compete when I was a kid. I did mixed martial arts when I was in the military. It hasn't recently, man. I was like, you know what? I want to get back out there with these kids and fucking fight.
So
Not better than bar fights, bro.
for you, what was the biggest motivation getting into doing that style of combat?
Oh, like now at 35.
No, like initially when you first started.
Well, I started when I was 5. My mom pretty much drugged me. I stayed because the in the 90s, karate was very rough. When you compare it to like Taekwondo or Americanized karate. It's a lot of pussies, to be honest, bro. So I was like, okay, I'm doing something like, I'm 13, 14. I'm fighting. Bloody noses are a regular occurrence at karate tournaments. The gear, let me explain the gear, bro, is cloth covering the back of your hand, nothing covering your knuckles. Um, Thin shin guards made of cloth and thin foam, and mouthpiece. And then you go out there and fight another 15-year-old kid. So um, I thought it was cool. That was a cool way to get some anger out and you know see what I could do. Um, then that translated to joining the military, where I did MMA for a while. Uh, had a few amateur fights. That was a fucking blast. But recently, I wanted to compete again as a funny reason because I have a big team, about 50 athletes from 5 up to 70 years old. And not everybody wins, man. And, in this day and age, people have a problem losing, especially when on a team like ours, where a lot of the best competitors, like Caleb, I got a girl named Taylor, I got a bunch of black belts that just fucking kill it, that lose very rarely. Um, I knew that my age and division with guys in their 30s have been doing their whole life, you are not going to win every single time you go out. So I'm like, here we go. I'll get out there. I'll see what I can do. When I lose, some random 7-year-old on my team can look and go, oh, okay, you know, even Sensei Josh is, you know, losing every once in a while. And that's what the pictures, man. Like the kids came up to me when I broke my nose, and I'm over there trying to reset it, and I'm begging the referees to let me back in, and I'm smiling the whole time. They DQ me because of blood, which is another reason why this version of karate is awesome. You would think that guy would get disqualified. Okay, no, that's bullshit. Landed a great shot. Just because my nose gave out and bled means nothing. He rightfully deserves to fucking, win. So I'm cool with that. A lot of tournament circuits will disqualify you for that shit. And that's what are you what are you doing, man?
I think obviously the event stopping at that point is for a lot of reasons. Even with obviously basketball, not a combat sport, but whenever there is blood involved to a certain degree, game just has to stop because it's like a risk of getting it in your other people's skin and stuff like that. It's a biohazard. So
In the moment when you're fighting, I stuffed those tampons up my nose. It stopped for a second, but you could see it filling the the tampon. I just ran out there and I was like, all right, like I'm good. They're like, no, you're not fucking good. At the time, the original kick had my nose slightly sideways. And I'm like, your shit's fucking sideways. I'm like, yeah, come on. It's 2 more minutes. Let's run this shit. So I really wanted to fight again, and it wasn't because I was pissed at this guy. We're actually pretty cool. He was on the French national team in the '90s, so like he's a good fighter. Um, so yeah, I wanted to get out there with him and see what the fuck would happen. And this happened early too, man. That's what sucks. Happened early, weird kick. When it caught me, I was like, okay, whatever. And I looked down, and I'm like, okay. There's blood everywhere. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's from your perspective, you probably can't really get that mad at yourself. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like your nose
I wasn't mad
gave
at
out.
anybody. Not even me. It just happens, man. It's just like another day for a karate guy like that. It's hopefully it'll heal up if I get surgery or whatever. And once it's healed, I'll get right the fuck back out there and see if I can't break it again.
So let's talk about how long you've been doing this, like cumulatively then, like total.
30 years. I've been doing some sort of combat sport for 30 years.
So yeah, your whole life.
Oh yeah, man. That's why like shit like this doesn't bother me at all. I've seen people get injured less and roll around on the floor crying and begging the referees to disqualify people. I feel it's more becoming of a karate or any kind of martial arts practitioner to take one on the chin or on the nose, and like it's not a big fucking deal. I mean, and that's why Caleb asked me if I was embarrassed. I was like, dude, for what? That's a teenage mentality, man.
Well, it's more of a pride involvement too when you're younger, I think, right? Is it's you're looking at an angle of like how you are appearing at an angle towards other people, and you're more worried about that kind of stuff.
It's a game, bro. It's a game. I'm playing a game. It's a game of tag. There's no techniques thrown that are meant to be fight ending. Even then, that heel to my face isn't fight ending. I'm probably gonna actually kill you after that. So it's a game, and everybody looks at me when I came back to fight. All my opponents always look at me and go like, "Oh, that's a problem," because I'm a big dude, and I'm intimidating looking, but I'm really nice. And I think that's what made this guy, who typically doesn't fight super aggressive like this, I think that was what made him throw this kick that close. It's not something you would typically go for, but he just threw it out there.
You probably felt like you had to do something more aggressive because you're a more intimidating opponent.
He was fast as fuck too, bro. I mean, he was so nice to me. He came up to me afterwards. He's like, he's got a thick French accent. I didn't know he was on the French national team. I just thought he was from France. So I understood beforehand that he had been in karate for 4 years. I'm like, okay, he's a smaller guy, more in shape, whatever. I found out after the fact that he has been in America for 4 years doing karate. But just like me, doing it since he was a kid in France. So that's pretty badass. So he was cool, dude.
So like how important do you think it is for a high level person like in your sport specifically to have a high pain tolerance?
I don't know if it's high pain tolerance is what I would describe it as. I would describe it as a more Viking mentality. You go until something makes it to where you can't. If they tell me you can't fight, your nose has been broken too many times, well, I'll figure out a way to get some kind of mask crafted and go out there and still participate until I'm old and brittle and can't pick my hands up and go from there. I feel like if you make it to this point in a sport like this at 35 for 30 years, you have no choice but to have acceptance of pain since a young age. I mean, I used to get kicked shin to the face regularly on a Tuesday at 8 years old. So, that's just the way it goes, man. It's just like anything else, bro. Like you play ball, you jump and you twist your shit bad as fuck, and you gotta take a month off with ice and shit. You're not gonna go, I can't ball no more. You're gonna wake up one morning and go, shit, my ankle's good, I'm back. Right? You're gonna play football, man. You're gonna do some shit, just look at your shoulder, maybe get a hard hit on you. Like every sport's got its shit they go through. Mine just involves hands and feet.
So think this is a good question. Do you think doing this combat thing when you like got into the military kind of helped you transition into that kind of thing easier? Like, did it help you like fit in better with people in the military?
That's a great question, man. Because you would think that that would be the case. Most people I met initially in the military, especially being in the Air Force, were bitches. I mean, your typical Air Force stereotype. Um, Very few people that I met until I got to my first duty station for combat controller. There we have like-minded people, and then actually when I became a mechanic, even more like-minded people. You want to talk about like blue collar, like roughnecks, like those are my dudes, and we fucked each other up all the time. We had a thing called the Square Gun, and I have Facebook videos of this shit. Maybe I'll post them to the channel one day. They're on my Facebook, where there's this big square room where you go check out your tools, and you can walk in one day and you hear your name shouted, and that's the challenge. And and I was undefeated in the Square Gun, and I would walk in, I'm in line for my tools, out here, done. And like, you take your shit off, you got your belt on, take your belt off, you empty your pockets, put it on the table, and you don't fight, you guys wrestle, and you're basically slinging each other around until somebody pins somebody. And that's that kind of, you know, just a warrior environment, man, where you're like so bored that you're just beating the shit out of each other. You know what I mean? So I've been doing shit like this forever, man. This is not foreign to me. Um, and I love to fight, like a real fight. Uh, I try to stay out of shit, but like when it comes time to fight, it's enjoyable. It really is. But now, as time goes on, man, you get more scared to do real damage to people. You don't want to hurt anybody for real. I mean, unless you have to, but
So
normal
in the
bar
business,
fights are well gone nowadays, bro.
I don't think this is something that we've really talked about before, but since you're in the business of like kind of teaching kids, like, it's different than parenting. But I also think in your situation, you just recently had a daughter, and I think it's gonna be something that's very beneficial for you in terms of kind of teaching her as she grows. That makes sense. It gives you
Yep.
like a head start in the whole parenting department, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I've been. There's a lot of kids that have been parents too. Um, yeah, I mean, I've heard horror. I've been a part of horror stories with some of these kids. I've taught group home kids, foster kids. I've had kids come to me and tell me what's going on at home, just because they feel safe. I've pinned dads against walls. It's not just teaching. Kids how to punch and block and shit, man. It's like you're a karate teacher, you're a therapist, you're a guidance counselor, you're a coach. I mean, it's crazy the amount of hats that I have to wear. That's the most stressful part of the job, bro. Is I can come in tomorrow and I got some kid who's being beat at home, and I get cops involved, and I gotta pray the parents don't show up before I, beat the shit out of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot.
But I think it's so important though that you provide that outlet
Oh,
for a lot of
so
children
much.
because there's parts of my life where I didn't have an outlet like that, but I think it's vital
Yeah,
that a lot of kids do have that. And I think it's amazing that you're able to do that for them.
I started teaching with my instructor in 2014 when I got out of the military, and I was sick one day early on. I wasn't even like a owner yet, nothing. I was just a student helping out, and one of the kids was like, where am I at? It's the first time I like realized that like me not showing up, like people wondered like genuinely where I was. I'm like, why does this kid care about where I'm at? Like genuinely like me, being there. I was like, damn, that's pretty cool, And then it just got, I met Caleb. You played with Caleb before. I met Caleb when he was 6. Like he's my little nephew, man. I've been with his fucking family forever, and similar shit. He was my coach while I got kicked in the face.
But you're creating bonds, especially in situations like kids with Caleb that are just going to last their whole life.
Oh yeah, I'll be at that kid's wedding, man. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still my instructor's like my father, and he's 75 years old. And I started with him when I was 5, and we've been in contact ever since I left. And he's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing now. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
crazy.
mean, that's what living life's all about, right? Is creating those bonds and having all
Oh
these
yeah,
great stories to tell.
I was never supposed to be a karate teacher either, bro. You know, I showed up to class one day. I'm at school. I mean, I was going to Coastal Carolina for intelligence, national security studies. It's gonna go CIA, FBI. You know, before they became all retarded. And yeah, my instructor pulled me to the side and was like, "You want to do this full time?" Went home and talked to my wife. Decided, yeah, and then everything changed after that. Wild.
That's what's the craziest part about life to me is like you never really know. You know, like it's like my
Tomorrow
situation
shit
with
can go crazy.
my situation in employment's similar. It's just kind of like a stepping stone onto bigger things, and then almost 10 years later, still find myself there. But life is really like that.
It is. It's a wild ride, bro. It's a wild ride, and that's my main thing, man. It's like I'm never gonna be rich, never gonna make a lot of money doing this. I'm about capped as far as what I'm gonna make. Um, that's one thing I have to just be okay with. I trade monetary things and value for helping people every day, and I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm comfortable. Definitely not rich.
I think
Um,
wealth is
yeah,
defined in so many different ways. I think people attach it too much to money. I mean, obviously, right?
you
Because
have to. Though. I mean, because the
it's
hard part is if things keep going the way they're going. I mean, it makes careers like mine very, very hard.
oh yeah,
Where you're
no doubt.
self-employed, you don't have that guaranteed income. I mean, the economy can change however it wants for people who have great jobs where they're definitely going to get paid every 2 weeks. For me, I could wake up tomorrow and shit's gone, you know. So that's the dangerous part about this is making sure your value is high, your stock is high for people's lives. You know, I know a lot of school owners who just don't do any of the extra shit I do. They have way more students and make more money, but they don't have that, connection. So
I think you just
yeah.
run like a more of an elite kind of a program too. I mean, you have a
Oh
bunch
yeah,
of people in your group that you're taking to world championships for this kind of thing, and
they got killers, bro. For real. I mean, these kids are crazy. Caleb did the same kick to me, except hit me in the middle of my forehead, and people were laughing because I was recording at the dojo. It was just me and him. No one else was there, and we kept fighting. There was no big deal about it. I went home. I clipped it out, and I posted it online. And people were like, "Why the fuck would you post yourself getting kicked in the face online?" I'm like, "Well, don't look at it from my perspective. Look at it from his. He's a 17-year-old kid fighting his instructor, lands a beautiful kick. You know, I'm like, my number one quality, I feel like, man, is I'm super humble, and it pains me to say that, but I never, ever, ever want any limelight, any credit for anything. I don't need kudos, congratulations, pat on my back, none of that bullshit, man. I fucking hate that shit. And the kids do it all the time. Oh, thank you so much, Sensei. Shut up. Like you're the one's busting your ass. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just like in Fortnite, bro. I'll be the quiet character in the back of the W, man. While you and Apex just go on out, kill everybody. Got my 2 kills. I'm straight.
you know me, bro. I like to fucking run my mouth too.
Well, that's what for streaming, bro. Like, nobody ever came by because like, look at this fucking guy, he's cracked. That's for damn sure. They came by for me as a person. I would hope. Um, some people are personalities. Some people are fucking straight shooters. Some people are both. You know, I was never good at video games, so
I think there was a very
still not.
I think there was a very short period of my life where I would even consider myself like good at even FPS. Like it was like only I'd say like a couple years. You know,
All
I could
depends on what you compare it to, bro. If you compare it to your average person, I mean, you and Apex are both phenomenal. If you compare it to pro players, that's a bit tougher.
it might just be the quality I'm measuring myself against because with like we did well in ranked games of like
Yeah,
especially at Fortnite. I mean, we were the highest ranks in that game that you could be for I
yeah.
think it was a couple seasons. I mean, we never got that good
We're
at
professional
Apex,
players
but
too, man. We were in a game once with I asked you before who it was, and you didn't remember. Ghost somebody in Ghost. It was one of
someone
the
on Ghost.
controller kids that was really famous back in the day that no longer plays. Not the one with the glasses, but it was his teammate.
We were at the point though we were only playing against pro and semi-pro players.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. That's too much for me. That's too much for me, bro.
yeah, I mean, we were like that was before I even switched to PC. I mean, we were both still playing on console, and we were
That's
that
where
good.
my mentality also, my competitive mentality kills me for playing a relaxing game is because I play shit like that in competitive games, and I don't think about me. I feel bad for who I'm playing with because I know I'm not that good. You know what I mean? Like I load into a fucking game of like, the first half of ranked, and that's like no big deal. Like it's Apex Legends, we played ranked, and when you're, you know, in fucking gold lobbies, great, cool. I don't feel that pressure. That's fine. Gaming's supposed to be relaxing for me. Plat, okay. Diamond,
Yeah,
everybody's nerding out, bro. I'm like over here hiding in a corner, like, what's going on out here, bro? So gaming it would never be that for me. It would never be this crazy competitive thing for me. I've found my niche competition, and that's martial arts. That's the part I love.
I think like I was saying, like we're a lot more similar now with gaming. I think than we were back then. I mean, we both did the same things, but my mindset was so different. I think in terms of what I wanted to do,
I
and
never
now
wanted anything.
now it's like I could still pick up like any FPS and still be good, especially if I'm sniping. But I mean, it's just for fun. You know, I'm not really playing competitive like that anymore.
I still think too that if you put us in any duo game situation, FPS, horror, heavily communication based game, it's hard for us not to be good.
Yeah.
Um, at least good. You know, I feel like where I lacked in the ability to put shots on target in a video game, I feel like our communication was what really helped us out.
Well,
But
I think that's like 90% of it. I mean, like we were skilled at Fortnite, but I think the reason we were so in like such a high ranks is because of the communication and teamwork.
yeah, when you look at all these kids screaming at each other, that doesn't even get you nowhere, brother. Like, it's so
I
weird.
think the closest I came to screaming at you in Fortnite was when you almost shockwaved me off the side of the
We were,
map.
we were memeing though. I don't think we were ranked.
I
Were we?
was no, we weren't in ranked. We were just in a pub match. But I was just like following behind you, and you threw it at your feet, and it just went flying off the side of the cliff, man.
Oh, you and Apex should be loot goblins, bro. You and Apex should be gobbling that shit up. And I get my one kill. That was my big thing, bro. Is I told Apex one night, I yelled at him. He's like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm just so used to looting. I said, imagine me, right? I already loot slower. So that means I have less ammo. I have less supplies. I have less materials. I finally get a kill. Two of y'all vacuum clean that shit before I can even get there because I am a bit slower behind. When am I ever going to be resupplied with shit, bro? With shit.
This is kind
Early
of
on. That
this
was
is kind of
really
how
early on.
I felt playing Warzone with both you guys because you guys have been playing that for a little while before I started. So like when I caught on, I was like so far behind the loop. Let's compared to you
I've,
guys, like I was so
I've
bad.
always been loot conscious, bro. Always. I will never steal nobody's shit. Ever.
I never had any loot to steal because I could never fucking kill anybody.
I always stood there next to people's kills and just guarded it, basically. Just waited. I mean, that's the only way you can resupply your shit, bro. I think that's where comps come in. Hey, good kill, bro. Can I get some AR ammo? Like, can I get some wood? You know?
I was only good at at Warzone from the tail end. Like when we started to quit playing it is when I started to get kind of good at playing
Of
Warzone.
course.
Yeah. Like starting to kind of get the vibe of how everything goes, and then
Warzone. I mean, not Warzone, but when we transferred to start playing all the multiplayer shit, not the Warzone maps, but like the search and all the hardcore shit. That might be the best at gaming I've ever been. That was like peak Grizzly Sensei gaming. Was
you guys were
the video I
so
put out for COD, bro, where the fucking no scopes. I hit 360 no scopes and 3v3 maps. I mean, I was doing shit that I'm not supposed to be doing. And my reactions are so like you can hear the videos, bro. My reactions are just so genuine, like, oh, what the fuck? Like I see these kids try it, let me try it. And I used to say some crazy shit for me. Um that shit those days are dead.
you
They're
guys were
way
both, I think, better at the actual game than I was, but my niche was always sniping in those games. I was
You
just
were
a
still playing
crackhead with
Fortnite, right?
sniping. Well, when I picked up COD to play Warzone after I quit playing, that's all I did was snipe, and I ended up inevitably getting really good at doing it even on that COD too towards the end. And yeah, it's just always been my niche with Call of Duty.
Yo, hey, let's talk Apex for a second, bro. Our buddy, not the game.
Mm-hmm.
He might be single-handedly one of the best players of video games I've ever met that doesn't put any time into it.
He's the quickest learner. He's able to like
He's so
learn how to
gifted.
play. Yeah, like he's just naturally good
He's
at
so
FPS.
it's like every other aspect is just not clicking of existence. And then just gaming, he's just like, I got this shit, bro. Because he does make some dumb choices, and this motherfucker rolls through on any video game we play, and it's like fucking. Remember we used to trash us on fucking Black Ops. We used to 2v1 him, and he just
He was
shit
just
on.
disgusting at COD. Like he was just gross at every COD that we ever played together.
And that carried over to Fortnite because he couldn't fucking build, bro. But that guy's fucking AR shots were fucking beams. He could snipe, he could shoot, and then when that gap got bigger because of Fortnite just catching on with building so much. Like I feel like him and no build would go crazy back in the day. But when that skill gap started gaining on him, he couldn't catch up because of the fucking. He hated building, which I don't blame him.
But me and you didn't really care for it either until creative came
I've
out and
been
we were
fucking
able to get
popping
good at it.
off and
And then
creative. I
once we
bought the
got
A1 controller, I think. What was it? The fucking
we started
I don't
we
know what it
started cranking 90s and shit and practicing like speed building and edits and all that, and we were starting to get really cracked. That's how we got into like the
I
higher ranks.
yeah. Switch over to mouse and keyboard. Going crazy. Going crazy in the mouse and keyboard switch.
I never switched off mouse and keyboard. I always played on controller with that game.
That's what I thought, bro. One night I was doing the edit course we used to do all the time where we do the times against each other and shit. I looked at my time and I was happy with it. I was like, man, just imagine how far away I still am from like the top kids in this fucking game. That's when my mind started shifting. I was like, I can't like either I need to go back to like playing this game while I'm fucked up and just chilling, or I need to play a new game because I just can't. I just can't keep up competitively, and I can't keep doing it to myself. Right, like
I was
trying so
able
hard.
I was able to keep up with PC players with edits and building for a while. It just got to a point where PC players got so good at editing and building that you just couldn't really keep up on too well on controller, like up to a certain point, you know. Like
Yeah.
there's just inherent advantages to having 18 different hotkeys that you can use to build.
Most importantly, bro, it got to be no fun.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely
It
true.
lost all fun to me.
And you know, it's a damn shame because we played so many great games. Even like right now, Lethal Company is so great. I love playing Lethal. Before, like, I think you might be right. I think that might have been the pinnacle was OG Fortnite.
Oh, without a doubt. Name another game we stayed up to the crack of dawn playing. You can't.
There wouldn't have been
You
anything
can't.
else.
How about the Viking Battle Pass? The whole thing, every fucking tier. The
Dude, I
morning it
remember
came
you
out,
telling me about that shit. You were a little lit. You had a few drinks, and you're like, bro, my
I
wife is gonna be so fucking pissed.
I
Like my
fucking
wife's
bumped
gonna
the
be,
whole motherfucker, bro.
yeah, like my wife's gonna be so mad I'm doing this shit anyway.
Yeah, I didn't care. That's the hold the game has back then, bro. Was
Bro, it had me worse, man. I spent, I think I tallied it. I think I spent 5 G's in Fortnite, bro. 5 G's.
but for me, man, like I don't know if it was the game or just the. I think it was more the game was perfect mixed with the perfect crew, and you're grinding at work. It's 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You're about to get home, and you're like, it's gonna be a fucking good night. It's gonna be a fucking good night. And it's not because like we're gonna catch dubs or anything like that. It's because the game was so balanced and so far away from being so competitive that you caught a few dubs a night, had some drinks, some laughs, memed around. Even when we died, it was funny. You know, like it was just fun, man. It was just fun, and it'll
Do
be a
you
long time until we find another game like that.
do you remember how awful our lobbies became after we hit that last tier in ranked, the
Yeah,
highest tier, and then we went to go play public lobbies, and it was just like
yeah, we were in
completely
champion.
unplayable.
Wasn't it
It
called
was,
champion?
yeah, well, it got to the point where we would rather play ranked against pros and semi-pros than go and play pubs against people who are also that skill level because
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
just
just more of them. It was just more like
yeah,
it was like just like almost like a time waster. You join pubs and you know that like by the time you get down to the top four lobby, like top four, they're all fucking crackheads. So
yeah.
you're never gonna win. You might as well just win a rank game for progress. You
But
know?
it was sick though, and we would like occasionally win still, like in those pub games where we had to fight 4 teams and we would beat all 4 of them, and then we would finally win. It's like, oh my god! Like there was nights where the reason we stayed up 7 hours playing is because we were chasing like one fucking win.
But
So,
season 4, 5, and 6 of OG Fortnite cannot be replicated.
no, it was because of how easy it was to have fun with it. You didn't have to like try really hard to enjoy it.
No. And I think like me personally, better than you, better than Apex, better than most people, and the best advocate for that. Because I was never a huge gamer. I mean, but besides grinding, Ocarina of Time with my brother and playing some fucking Smash Bros. And Halo, like every normal kid, I never took a game and like took off with it because I feel like I'm just a bit older than you guys. That you guys grew up a bit behind me, where Call of Duty kind of blew up, and I was already gone to the military.
Yeah, like by the time I was playing like Modern Warfare 2, I was like 15, somewhere between 14 and 16, somewhere in that range, and it was
I
like
was
the
well
perfect,
gone
yeah,
from
it was
that.
the perfect time period for
Hmm.
me. But
Yeah, so like 15, 16 to me, but I'm playing Halo, you
yeah,
know? And that's already been out for a minute. So I think like I'm the best person when it comes to like what a game should be. If I'm having fun, I am the clientele. I'm not competitive, pro competitive shooter, or even close. I can hit some shots every once in a while. I'm like the perfect average gamer. And that was the best time I ever had gaming. Hands down. I
I,
felt
I
no pressure, but the pressure I felt was all like in good fun. I'm the last one alive. I'm 1v1ing for like the win. Like that's all well and good fun. There's like if I die, it's all laughs and we go to the next fucking game. You know what I mean? But um man, they fucked that game.
what I love about shooters still though is like even though I don't play on that level or like practice aiming, I could still pick up like most shooters like Battlefield or
Yeah,
similar games and just go off, and just pop the fuck off after not playing for like a year.
that'd be bro.
I always found that kind of funny about shooters, but that's in my blood. I mean, I've been playing FPS since I was like 10 or 11. You know, I'm almost 30 now. So
I never fucking had that, bro. You
it's
know?
just when I
That's
grew
like
up.
that's what I'm talking about. Like these kids now are fucking spoiled, bro. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
God, you can play whatever the fuck you want.
yeah. Whenever.
Whenever you want, wherever you want. Like, just the phone alone is crazy. You can download Fortnite mobile and sit there and fucking crank 90s.
I
I
gotta
can't believe
I
it.
gotta come out and admit though, I bought Black Ops 3 because I wanted to play all the zombies or whatever. I told you
Oh,
about that. I
yeah,
fucking played. Dude, I am fucking trash compared to when I was a kid at that shit. I used to be so good at that, and I'm so garbage now.
lost your edge, bro. Lost your edge.
Yeah, I'd have to play like probably a good 50, 60
How
hours
it
to pick
how
back
it
up.
should be, you know? You
Yeah,
shouldn't be able to pick up something that old and just pop off again.
I was
You gotta
proud.
re-get those muscle memory.
I got to run like 20. I died on one of the maps, on one of the OG maps. I was like, fuck yeah, at least I got to run 20. I was proud of like a minor accomplishment.
Oh man, evolution of gaming, bro. Have we gotten better or worse?
Um,
Better or
I
worse?
I think the technology's obviously gotten much better, and like the capability of what games can be has increased a lot. But in some ways, I think it's gotten worse when you talk about the writing that some games take nowadays. Like a prime example is Call of Duty campaigns. How they're written is just fucking trash now. They're all money grabs, and
Yeah,
I
of
mean, back in
course.
the day, honestly, the reason that I bought Modern Warfare 2 wasn't even for the multiplayer; it was for the
War
campaign
campaign.
because of
Yeah.
how good that is one of the best campaign games I've ever
Well,
played.
campaign is what we grow up playing. You look at a game like Mario. It's one giant campaign game. I mean, it's what, at least for me, I love a good game where I could easily walk through the chapters and play. Similar to Halo. You know what I mean? Like, here, this is your mission. Go fucking do it. Sweet.
I think one of the craziest things for me as a kid, there's two parts about COD that really impacted me with Modern Warfare 2. There's one mission specifically in that game, you might know what I'm about to talk about, where you play as like a deep covered, like it's like a CIA operative, and
Okay.
you're like in with like Russians or whatever. These guys show up at an airport and just like fucking kill like thousands of people. It's crazy. It was like
I think
for
I
the
do, yeah.
for the time it came out, it was like holy shit. Like, it was like no one had ever really seen a game do something like that before. So that was pretty wild. And then I just think I think that game hit really well in all in a lot of different ways with its writing and how well it was done. Like there was a mission in particular where you get to control like an AC-130's weaponry. That's like the first time a game had
That's
ever
cool.
done something like that.
That's
And it was
badass.
just like the amount of power that you felt in that moment where you're just like raining down howitzer rounds and like automatic 40 millimeter shells is just like, holy shit, bro. Like, is this real life? Like,
That's the military's way of recruiting.
that's what a lot
Hey,
of people
bro,
say
I
now.
want to do this.
Well, a lot of people say like with the time that game came out, it was like the best recruiting tool at the time for the military in that regard because it got to show people like how fucking powerful the Air Force really is, and it's like, yeah, yeah.
Make fun of us all you want, Army and fucking Marine nerds. I would say Navy, but
Well,
um,
here's what
you know,
I'd say to the ground guys is it's like you guys might be badass operatives and all that, but who's saving your
who are
ass
you
when you're
gonna
overrun?
call? Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna be real. You'll be real thankful when you got a Spectre above you giving you
Or not even that,
target
bro. Just
fire.
imagine making fun of the Air Force being rescued by a PJ, bro. You're in the
Yeah,
shit, and then zzz, what's up, bro? Get in, nerd. We're leaving.
yeah. Those guys go in to rescue the operatives, which makes them the most operative of all the operatives.
Yeah, man, those guys are badass. All the fucking guys are badass, bro. And the reason we can joust back and forth with one another is because, what else is the greatest military on the planet gonna do? Gonna
So
fuck with each other a little bit.
here's something I've always been interested in. Maybe you have a little bit more knowledge on this than me. What would even be like the career path to get into something like the Secret Service?
Secret Service, you're gonna want to have a really good spec ops career.
Like
You can,
SEAL
you can.
team or something?
No, not even that. Just this Delta SEAL team, combat controller, TAC P, PJ. I mean, something where you're where you're training, not necessarily even like because some of those guys don't even do shit. I mean, you got some guys who make it through without even doing anything. So, but the training is what's key. So as long as you've had some great training, and you have like a really solid career, even like military police, they have their own branches of like Raven team and stuff like that, of like badasses of that version of that job. You did that well. Did he get in trouble? Clean career. Then you could probably talk about joining Secret Service. Boring job though.
Oh, especially I would imagine now having to wipe the president's ass.
Jesus Christ, bro. Those guys go home and just talk so much shit.
Well, they probably don't even wait
You're
till
not gonna believe this shit today.
they probably don't even wait till they go home. I mean, the dude's so off this planet, he'd probably talk shit in front of the guy. It's not like he'd fucking remember.
But I have a friend who, not Secret Service, but has joined one of these jobs that I always wondered how you do it. And he was a mechanic with me. And then one day we lose touch. He was stationed in California. On Facebook, he's working on a Thunderbird. And I'm like, the fuck? He ended up going to school, transferring jobs, and he's a Thunderbird crew chief. And I'm like, that's fucking badass. One guy who transferred jobs and is a mechanic on Air Force One. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
It's just one of those things where you like go, okay, how do you choose a Air Force One mechanic, right, or an Air Force One pilot? We first have to start in that career field somewhere else and be the best of that career field, and then you could talk about going to work on those things.
And so it's similar to like my experience with corporations. It's the further you get towards like if your target goal is something incredibly specialized, then you have to in turn become very specialized to get there.
Yeah, and people are constantly watching.
Yeah,
they're constantly watching. Like right now, I have probably 6 or 7 elite black belts that I train. About 15 black belts below them, and then I have a handful of brown belts who are up next for black belt, and I'm watching them so close because I'm trying to find replacements, bro. I'm trying to find out who's the next Caleb. That kid's special, and helps. His success is great for business. You know what I mean? So I gotta find another Caleb. You know what I mean? So I'm always watching, seeing who's the next like superstar, and I'll find a kid, bro. This is where I'm really good at this job. I'll find a kid that no one even thinks is gonna be that kid. When Caleb was 10, no one but me thought this kid's special. Nobody. I'm just looking at raw, not even talent, just the desire to like do shit. Like
it's it's the fire.
Yeah.
Not everybody has it, but like some people have like that fire when it comes to being competitive, especially.
Yeah. So I'm looking at these kids, and I got one girl who's 11, who is phenomenal but has no self-confidence. So right now we're building up her confidence a little bit, and she will be probably one of the best athletes to ever walk through the school if we can get her right. But a bunch of kids like that. But it'll probably end up being some average kid right now who's like on nobody's radar. And in 5 years, the growth potential from 10 to 15 is insane. What you do from 10 to 15 is incredible, man.
Your body goes through so many changes during that time.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
I think I grew. So just for example, I think it was 6th grade, maybe it was either 5th or 6th grade. I was like 4'8". And once I finally got to like, I think it was like 8th or 9th grade, I was suddenly 6 feet tall. So this went from being like one of the shortest kids in class normally to being one of the tallest, just in a couple of years. And it was like crazy. Like when it came to sports, it was really weird with basketball because it was like a weird shift. Like I grew so much, I didn't even know how to control my body anymore. Like when I would play.
Yeah, dude. I got a kid like that. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
He's 16 years old. When he first joined, he was like a Great Dane puppy. He was 6 years old. He was wearing size like 7 men's shoes. I gotta send you a picture, bro. This kid is enormous, and he's 210 pounds now, 6'6", maybe 6'7" by now. And God always works in mysterious ways, bro. Because you know what God did to this poor kid? This kid don't believe a lick in himself at all. He has no ounce of confidence in his body. So he goes out and fights. Okay, let's say you gotta fight this kid, and you're a regular 16-year-old. You're 5'9". Okay, you look at this 6'6" giant of a kid. He's Norwegian. He's Viking. White, blonde hair, uh, very masculine, broad shoulders. Just a fucking specimen. You're shitting your pants, dog. When you're 16, you're shitting your pants. You're looking at your coach, going, "Not me. No, somebody else." The problem is once these kids realize that this kid's more scared than they are, they run him over. So I've been working with him for a long time on his self confidence. Very cerebral kid. He's slightly autistic, I think. So he's very cerebral, super smart, super book smart, no social cues, uh, but it's very, very, very smart. But once he gets his confidence down, he'll be unstoppable.
My immediate guess would be maybe he has Asperger's. That sounds a lot like my brother.
Uh, I don't know. I've met people with Asperger's before. Um, I don't. I would not even. I would venture to say that maybe he's not even like on the spectrum. That he's just a little bit socially awkward. Doesn't always
Which,
mean you're autistic.
which I mean,
He's just
nowadays isn't. That's not exactly uncommon either.
yeah. He's just a bit socially awkward. Doesn't pick up on normal social cues like everybody else. Um, Fantastic kid though, bro. I mean, I love that kid to death. He's like now that kid's like my little brother. I mean, I've trained him since he was first to the dojo, and I've given him shit the whole way in a loving manner.
As you do.
But like I knew like if he didn't get that kind of experience, it would be worse off for him. So
Yeah, I mean, I think the sooner in life, like, you know, when you're in that position, you learn those lessons with self confidence, the better. I mean, that was something I definitely
yeah.
struggled with at that age really badly, you know. So I didn't really kind of come into my own in that department to actually till my mid 20s. But
I don't have self confidence is a weird topic for me, bro. Because like I don't have the same viewpoint on self confidence as everybody else. I don't feel like I have self confidence in the standard of like normal people talk about it. Um, I believe in myself and my ability to protect myself and the ability to protect my family. That's it. So like if I go to a carnival and I'm about to do a 3-point contest and some shitty goal, I'm not like overly like self confident. I'm not self confident in most anything. Um,
I find that so interesting because I'm like the opposite of that. Like when I'm doing things, especially things that I do like every day, I'm thinking in my head, I'm the best at this. Like when I'm at my job, running my running the operation I run, I literally say all the time, I'm like, nobody can do this like I can. And
yeah, I think the opposite.
I seriously just think that I have to, because it's like I hold myself to like a standard of like I'm gonna do this above a level that anybody else would, like I'm gonna
I
do it
think
well after.
I think because of my work, I just pray there's people just as good, if not better than me.
Yeah,
I just
no,
pray
that's
there's
fair.
a ton of people who are helping people and being there for people, maybe in more than I could possibly be, and that'd be great. But I also don't believe that I'm this amazing, awesome. Because, bro, I'm surrounded by people who every day. I just shared this. You'll love this, bro. I sent it to you, but I don't know if you responded to it.
I'm just setting my phone. I threw my phone across the room.
No, this
So,
is a while ago.
oh, okay.
Um, Okay, I'm gonna read this to you. All right, if you heard it, fine. If not, you're here again. Um, I get stuff like this all the time, bro. And this is the reason why, like, I'm so humble because I don't deserve this. What I'm about to read, I don't feel like I deserve. I feel I'm just doing what anybody would do in my job. Uh, this is a kid named Caleb, different kid. It's a young kid. He's a uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Foster kid who um a grandmother age woman brings him in. She takes care of him. Chick from Boston, ex detective, awesome woman. Um, Caleb gave a tear jerking speech tonight about what it means to be Christian. His speech was based on a man named Sensei Josh Conway. He went on to say that Jesus used the least likely people and that his sensei does not give up on any kid, foster care kids, or throwaway kids like him. He treats everyone equally and keeps kids off the streets and teaches discipline, love, and respect. One day he hopes to be a pastor just the way you are his sensei. He wants to save children the way that you do. There was not a dry eye in the place. Thanks for everything, Josh. But most of all, thanks for being this guy's hero. Like, I do not deserve some shit like that, bro.
So I
That's
think
just my head, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I feel like people in this position have to be like me. I hope so. If
yeah.
you're chasing that, you're chasing the wrong shit.
So I think a lot of this in terms of how we look at this is I think just what we work in. You know, like for me, I work in operational management, so I look at everything as like a I don't know how to fully explain it. Like I have to have that same mindset I did when I played sports because that's what drives me to be good at what I do.
Definitely, your mindset's definitely appropriate for your employment.
I call it a killer mindset. You have to think that you're the best in the room in a field like that, or you just won't be able to perform to a high standard. It's just what it is. And it's not anything of like I look at my team as lessers or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's simply that I have the confidence and ability that I know that I'm the best in the room at what I do. And it's just that simple.
Yeah,
But it's the only I'm only really like that with a few things, and it's really my job and then a couple of my passions, and that's it. I mean,
we
like
have
every
to like when the kids like take Caleb for example. Okay, Caleb's in the adult division this year for the first time ever. Okay, I'm not in Caleb's ear going, "Hey, dude, just try your best." But the switch is fucking flipped at that point. He's gonna murder these people. And that's what I tell him. Like you have to go fight like you can't be fucking beat. And so all my teenagers, they love pregame talk for me. That's like their number one thing. They just love the most. I mean, I get them fucking hyped up, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm looking at these kids, and I can't call them kids, but they're 17, 18, 19 years old, and I'm like yelling at them, like Caleb. I'm in his face. I'm like right in his face. I'm like, you can fuck this dude up, man. He's like, yes sir, yes sir. And I was like, you get out there, hands up, move, jab, and then wow. I mean, I'm like, he gets out there, and that's what he fucking does. And I carry that energy through the match. When the match is over, all that shit comes way down. We bow, we shake hands with their coach, with the athlete, then we go home. But in that moment, we can't be stopped. And I'm gonna outcoach the other coach 1,000 times over. I'm gonna walk you, bro. You're my son. You know what I mean?
that's kind of how I look at how I run my operation, even in terms of like it's like if someone else like above me isn't doing something relating to it that they should be doing, I'll just do it. You know, it's
Yeah.
kind of just like okay, then I'll just do it. Like I'll just like take that on because it's like I want to be successful in any means necessary. It's like I go in it with like a life or death kind of a mindset. It's like I'm either going to perform here today at the highest level I can, or I might as well just fucking leave.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no point in being here.
Yep.
And it's just
And that
I have to. I have to. I think part of it's the ADHD. I have to just fully keep that mindset, or I'm just not interested. I won't be committed to it.
and that's important. I mean, like I definitely have that in different aspects. I think I mean that I don't have that in the realm of like I'm not searching for that gratification as far as like the message I just read goes. But as
Yeah.
far as like owning the best school around, I have no doubt that I do. Without a doubt. I mean, there's no way. And that just becomes from my belief in my kids that I have there, you know. And I think every person that does this believes they have the best school. But they have like fucking hundreds of national and world champions, so I'll let
In the
that speak.
last 4 years at the operation I'm at, like the whole hub, we've run in the top 3 in the whole world for the whole company the last 4 years. So I mean, I know how good we are
Yeah.
as a team, and it's having that confidence with whatever team that you have if you're in that kind of a position. It gives you like a ton of wind at your back to just kind of push way further than you ever could have, because you just kind of know in the back of your head it's like I might be going through absolute hell right now, but on the other side of that is greatness, and everyone else here is gonna be pushing through that same kind of a fight.
Yeah, that's like, bro, when I was deployed, my first fucking night on night shift, I was like, what the fuck am I in, bro? One of the old timers is like, yeah, bro, I mean, we're looking around, we're all in the shit, you know? Just be likable and we're all in it together, and that's that. Let's go get a beer. So yeah, okay, so that's wow, we're at 56 minutes already. I need to go get my face situated, so I think we're gonna end here, call it a night. There's a little background about me and our gaming career, a little update on my shiner and my nose being broken. Um, yeah, as far as the nose break, man, like this shit like that, metaphorically, is gonna happen to us all the fucking time. And I
You know,
think adopting my attitude of smiling into every picture I have on my phone. Let me just show the camera this picture real quick, bro. One of my parents got this just amazing picture, and I will forever be grateful. But this was when they told me I could not go back on. And it's just me, blood on my face, smiling at the referee, going, "Oh, come on, bro." You know, um, that's all I can do, bro. It is what it
well,
is.
you know what Mike Tyson said, right? He said everyone has a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Everyone's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Mm-hmm. What sounds like you had a plan. I think everyone listening to this should take that and remember to always have a plan for when you get hit in the face, because you
Yeah,
will. You're
I
gonna
had a
get
plan.
hit.
I had a good plan. I had a good plan. And real quick, the funny thing is this is how many things lead up to mistakes. Okay, I was warming up. My right knee's been bothering me for months now. Okay, and I did forms first, got second place. Knee was bothering me a little bit. And I'm like, fuck. Okay, so I'm warming up with Caleb, and I never fight goofy. As far as, I mean, goofy skateboarder term, right foot forward, right? So I never fight switch like that. I can, I just don't like it. So I I throw two punches. He backs up, and when I threw the two punches, my knee was like, "Oh, yo, bro, we too old for this." So I'm like, "Okay, he's getting aggressive. Let me switch my feet." I'm gonna do a side kick in his chest. Okay, so I switch my feet. I'm right foot forward. Okay, so I'm standing like this, my right foot forward. I'm standing like this. I'm not used to blocking anything on this side of my face because I'm pretty tall. Okay, he throws this weak, I call it a weak jab. Weak jab in fighting, for everybody listening, does not mean power is lacking. It's just a setup jab. Weak jab is just
Just to get someone off balance.
ranging you.
Mm.
So he puts the jab out, and my hand goes out for it to about right here. Okay. And he's jammed up in front of me. And he just so flexible, he just picks his foot up. And out of nowhere, because typically people kick me, they're coming from some kind of range, 3-4 feet, and I can see the kick starting, and I have good reaction. Never saw this kick until it was right here, and boom. So, would he have landed it if I had my regular stance forward? I'm 100% saying no. Um, but I think he noticed the uncomfortableness once I switched my feet, as any great fighter would. And my movement wasn't the same. It looked different. I was favoring my right leg. He took full advantage. Smart play. Fair play. So, never switch my fucking feet again. Ever. 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 That's the only thing I was mad at. I switched my fucking feet. Right away, I get kicked. All right. Well, episode 11 in the books. Guys, we appreciate you, of course. They call it a habit after 7. What is it after 11, bro? We're killing it, bro. No signs of slowing down unless I get surgery. Even then, I'll probably come in all taped up, stuffed up, ready to talk about some other.
Dude, you should, if you have to have nose surgery, you should get like what the NBA players get, like those crazy like Batman fucking masks.
Oh yeah, I'm fighting no matter what. If I have to fight a mask on, bro, I am.
You got to get like a crazy fucking Batman mask, like something that looks wild.
I just need something where if I get hit again, I know my nose is fragile. I'm not worried about it getting broken, but I don't want it to be a fight-ending thing. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I should pre-tape it just in place with a bunch of shit. Just leave it. All right, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, maybe we can get you a lead nose guard small.
Oh yeah. I forgot you got fucking send me that picture. All right, guys. Take care. See ya.
Peace.
Good night.